the InvestWell Mint applications, and we would be covering like how this applications would be helpful for the advisors, for the MFDs, for you to manage your day-to-day business and to do the basic operations like business related operations, as well as your doing your better client servicing. So today's webinars, we would be covering the various aspects of InvestWell Mint applications. In this today's demo, the client's servicing part, the client login part, how the client would be viewing their portfolios and doing the online transactions and all those things we would be covering. In your broker login, we would be covering like how in as an distributor, as an advisor, how you would be able to do your day-to-day business monitoring, use different sales tools for generating different reports, comparing the schemes and all, and also like how you would be able to enroll any clients as such. Just to brief you about InvestWell, we are approximately 21 years old company. We are 21 years young, you can call it, like more matured and having a vast domain knowledge as such. So we are basically a product focused companies and all, with strong technical teams of more than 70 people as such. Covering distributors and advisors pan India, more than 2,500 to 3,000 now, like the numbers are increasing every day, and handling approximately 7.5 to 8 lakh crores of AM. So that is how like the investor has been providing these services to the distributor fraternity. Like to start with, let me share you my screen, that directly take you to the software. What are the various features, what are the various functionalities of the software, and how it would, as I was mentioning earlier, how it going to help you out, that we would be covering. Okay, so I would be logging in as an advisor. So as an advisor, what are the things that you would be able to view? How what all when a new client comes in, like how you would be able to enroll themselves. So those things we would be covering in. InvestWell Mint applications has like for the online transactions, it has got integration with NSE, BSE, and MFU. So all the three, like we have got the integrations with. It is a completely a wealth management product. So wherein not only mutual funds, but rather equity shares, listed bonds, fixed deposits, other assets. So all these things could be covered along with the insurance, that is life insurance and general insurance. We would be able to cover that as well. Plus, once you are entering these data, the idea is to provide your clients a holistic view, okay, how their wealth look like, what are the in where their money is parked, so that you would be able to show them. And as a distributor, you also have a complete idea that okay, the client's money is parked in such and such funds, such and such instruments as such, and then you would be able to make take a better decisions for your clients, and would be able to suggest them accordingly. Okay, now apart from this, like in the software, we also provide you various sales tools, And one more very important aspect, that is the cash file upload. So that is the CAMS cash file you would be able to import into the system. That is just to capture key whatever the transactions are done through some other distributor or some other ARN holders. If the client has been doing with some other ARN holders, so those data could also be captured into the systems, and you are able to provide your client a holistic view. Okay. So now this is as you can see, this is your advisor's dashboard. So wherein you can see your total AUM, that is your direct AUM, bifurcated into your equity and non-equity. Then the total number of investors, your SIP clients, how much is your SIP amount in the last month, and what was your SIP count as per the last month. That also you are able to see on the dashboard. If I go downwards, like here you can see this is your business updates, wherein you would be able to view what are the businesses which were done. The business has been bifurcated into 6 broader categories, like debt, equity, hybrid, liquid, arbitrage, and others. For your ease, we have bifurcated this so that you are able to see how the business has been happening. So your total investments which has happened, the total redemption which has happened, and the new investments which has happened in this particular period, you would be able to view that. Further, if you click on the view more, it takes you to the cash flow reports, wherein you would be able to view okay, for any particular period, if you give a particular period, you would be able to view the total amount, the amount of inflow which has happened in your system based on either through investment or through switch-ins, and the outflow, like based on either related to redemptions or a switch out or a dividend payout. So that also you would be able to see. So accordingly, you are able to view your cash flow, whether there has been a positive cash flow or a negative cash flow in this particular period. Okay. Now, again, going back to the dashboards, what all are things that you would be able to see in the dashboards here? Then you can see here that your last transaction date, your credential status, whether the credential status are okay or not, and then your compliance related, like how many clients whose email IDs are missing, or the PAN is missing as such. If there are any due tasks, so that would also get displayed on your dashboard. Now, the due task could be either the due task could be your portfolio review. Suppose you have a portfolio review due for your clients. There is an upcoming SIP mining, SIP installments that need to that is due, or there is a insurance renewal, or FMP maturity, or FD maturity, or even the today's birthday. So all these things would be added into your due task. Further, these tasks also gets added into your task manager. So wherein you would be able to see for any particular period, like if you put up a date, okay, give me the list of the tasks which were due in a particular period as such. So you can put that date and you can view, okay, these were the tasks which are due. So either there is an upcoming FMP maturity, or a as I was mentioning, like upcoming insurance renewal, or a portfolio review, so or birthdays and all. So though these tasks would get added to your task manager. Further, wherein if suppose if you have taken a action on it, you can just go here and can click on this close. Okay, the task has been taken care of. Then even if you want to create task, you would be able to do that. In InvestSwell, we have given you a flexible hierarchy. So suppose if you want, if you are having your sub brokers, if you are having relationship managers, even if you are having branches, so all those things can be created through the systems. Suppose further, as far as the login is concerned, if suppose in your office you are having some operation people, you want to give them a separate login so that they don't log in with your admin, so they would be able to log in through the operation login and would be able to perform the other actions as such. Okay. Now, whenever our new clients comes in, like suppose if I go with this BSE here, we have given you the options of creating the UCC. So any clients comes to you, you can create their UCC, or if they are existing clients, if you want to enable them, if you want to provide them the online transactions facility, you have to create their UCC. If you are doing through BSE, you need to create their IAN. If you are doing through NSE or a CAN, if you want to, if you are doing through the MF utility. So like the moment you enter the PAN, the system checks whether this PAN is KYC compliant or not. If it is a KYC compliant, it will pick the the applicant's name and it will get displayed there. If it is a non KYC compliant, then it will give you the facility to do the video KYC from here itself. So if the client is sitting with you, you can do the video KYC then and there itself, or else you can even share the video KYC link to the client's email ID or to their WhatsApp as well. So these links can be shared. Like here you can see there is a share video KYC link on the WhatsApp or on the email. Or suppose if you want to even download the KYC form, you can download the KYC forms from here, and that these are all editable PDFs. So you would be able to type in the details in that KYC form and take out the printout for that. Okay. If you have done a video KYC, we have given you the options to view the status as well. So you would be able to view whether this KYC has been accepted, whether this has been submitted by the clients or not, it is still in pending, or it has got rejected due to any reason. So all those status you would be able to view in the video KYC status. And when you click on the view, you can click on it and can check out whether the clients has uploaded the the documents properly or not, the clients had filled up the details properly or not. So those things you would be able to see if you click on a view. Or at the any later stages, if you want to resend the video KYC link to your clients, there we have given you the button. So you click on it, a link would be emailed to your clients. Okay. The moment this profile has been created, you can even submit the FATCA, upload the documents, or you can create the mandate. Both mandate could be created, either a paper mandate or the paperless mandate. Both mandate could be created through the system. Okay. Then the same clients gets added to your client master, wherein you would be able to view the details of your clients. Okay, if suppose if you want to add certain details into your client's master, details like suppose if the client is having a different birth date, so the certificate date is different or the date is different, so you can add that details here. Or if suppose the client is having like the other the review dates and all, so you can set the portfolio review frequency. Suppose if you have committed with your clients, okay, we would be doing a monthly review of the portfolio or a half yearly review of the portfolio or a yearly or a quarterly, whatever period you have chosen, you can choose that review frequency, enter the date on which you have last done your review. So accordingly the system would be generating the alerts as on when it is due. Okay. Further, the clients can be segregated. You have a good facility of using the tags. So likewise here you can see for this client, I have added, okay, this is an NRI client. He's also a doctor and he's also an HNI. So I have added three, tags over there. So anytime, if suppose if I want to search a client on the basis of the tags, I would be able to do that in the client master. Or suppose I want to have in the system, we have given something called email scheduler. So in the email scheduler, you can design your own templates. And if suppose if you want to send those mails to a particular set of clients, there also you can filter on the basis of the tags and can set the mark schedule a particular template for those clients as such. Okay. Similarly, if suppose if the clients has said, okay, there would be some debt equity ratios and all, so that also you can set up here. Okay, how much is into equity and how much is into debt and all. So those things you can add here. You want to add certain remarks, and you can, if you want to save that, you can do that as well. Along with that, the other bank details or other attributes or nominee details. So these details can be captured for your clients. So that is one which you can do. Further, whenever you want to send an invite, here you have got an options called send invitation. So the login invite would be sent to your clients so that they can accept the invitation, set their password on their own, and is logging into the system and start using it. So how the client's login would be, I'll just take you to the dashboard. So here you can see this is your client's dashboard. So wherein the first thing is your current value, which comprises of all assets. Then there is a 1-day change there. Your gain, again in the all assets, one can see how much is into the mutual funds, how much into the shares and FD and others. Then your actual asset allocations into equity, debt, and gold and all. Your recent purchases, recent redemptions, one can see. The goal summary, one can see the goal summary over here. Then whatever goals a client has created, an amount of goals which has been achieved, and then based on the amount which are mapped, or the returns that they have added, the projected return. So what would be the projected goal that would be covered, and what would be the shortfall, one can see that here. And then there is a journey of your clients in the below here you can see since inception. This is your journey of your clients with you, like since inceptions, like the net investment vis-a-vis current value. That's the graph you can see here. The net investment is the total in minus the total out. So the basically the difference between the blue line and the green line is the return that you have provided or the growth that you have provided to your clients. There are various portfolio reports that one can check based on their requirements and all. One can generate various portfolio valuation reports. So here you have the portfolio valuation reports. The portfolio valuation is basically the currently held unit report. So one can see either you want to view it on the screen. So it's after the redemptions, after doing the FIFO and all, whatever the balance units are there in the client's account, one can see the reports for that. That's what the clients refer generally. Now here you have the facility wherein you can choose. Okay, I want to view the portfolio for all of the applicants, or for a selected person as such. So one can do that. If you want to view the portfolio for a selected funds as such, you can do that as well. Then if you want to select for any particular category, suppose you want to only view the debt portfolio, so you want to only view the equity portfolio, so you can select the category wise and can generate the report out of it. Then here you can see there is an option called cash data, wherein we have given you the options to either you want to include it, exclude it, or show only. So that way one can do those data and all. So those informations one can capture into the system. So here, how the things would be appearing, I'll just show you that. So, and along with that, here you have options called holding periods. Now, in the holding periods, whether you want to view for the long-term reports only or a short-term, one can check that and can use a different filters. For any particular date, you would be able to view the portfolios. And once you apply on this is how the report would come here. So while viewing on the screen, you have got an options like, you can group on folio wise, scheme wise, investor wise, or subcategory wise. Suppose if you are viewing the report, like the folio wise, here you can see this is how it goes. So wherein what is the purchase NAV, what is the purchase value, and what is the current NAV, and what is the current value and all. So the balance units, what is the gain, holding days, what is the return that one has got, the absolute return or the CAGR return, one can check that as well. And if you click on any of the folio, it will take you to the transaction wise, on what date what transaction has happened as such. Okay. Further, here you can see on the schemes, we have given you a hyperlink. So if you click on the particular scheme, it will open up the funds fact sheet of that particular scheme. So wherein one can see their their NAV movement, their compositions, their volatility measures, their trailing returns, their calendar year wise return, their cumulative performance with their benchmark as such. So one can see their last 3 years cumulative performance. The blue line is the scheme's performance and the red line is the scheme's benchmark. Then followed by the top holdings and all. And even the rolling returns one can view for whatever period if you have given. Suppose if you have given the period like, okay, I want to view it from say X period or something, one can check that. And if you click on it, like, if there are any schemes or any returns based on that, it will show you. Okay. So one can see here, okay, how many times in the past they have given returns greater than 20%, or the between 15 to 20%, how many times that they have given the returns in the past. So those things one can check from here. And the same, you would be able to download the PDF report of it. Okay. So if you click on this PDF, it will be having your logo, and this reports would get generated over here. Now, similarly, if you go with the PDF report, how it appears in the PDF, you can export it to Excel, you can export it into Excel unformatted way. So wherein, if you want to do your own pivot and all, so then you can export it to your format. Now, while generating the PDF, here you have got an options wherein you can mark whether the asset allocations, what are the asset allocations that you need. So those things you can mark whether you want to view that in the portfolio reports or not. Okay. And how the report would look like, I'll just open up a report so it will give you a fair and an idea. Okay, this is how the report would look like. So here you can see there are different ways of viewing the same reports. Now, this is your portfolio valuations wherein one can see, okay, this is your investment snapshot since inceptions. So the first thing is the investments, the total investments, and that is it's showing the amount which were deducted from the client's bank account comes under the investments. Then you have the switch in, switch out, redemptions, what is the dividend payout or interest that they have received. Then the net investment is the total in minus the total out, that is your net investment. What is your current value, overall gain, and the overall XRR, that is since inception's XRR, one can view over here. You have got the allocations by applicants and all, your asset wise allocations, so debt, equity, gold, so that way you can see. Then here you have this mutual fund wise fund wise allocations, in which fund how much amount is invested as on date, and what is the current value, and what kind of a return that they are getting in those funds, and on the allocation percentage of the total portfolio into that fund, one can see that. Further, followed by your scheme wise allocations, one can see the scheme wise allocations. Then you have the same goes with the subcategory wise. So how much is into the equity large cap, how much is into the equity mid cap, and what kind of returns that they are getting on that, and what is the allocations into that particular subcategory. One can view it. Further, you can see there is an option called mutual fund equity allocations. So based on the weighted average on the all the equity scheme this client has invested into, we generate the based on the weighted average, we show you like how much is into the large cap, how much is into the mid cap, and how much is into the small cap as such. Okay. So then you have this equity allocations here. One can see like, the equity allocations by script, equity allocations by sector, for the debt portfolio. Here you can see the debt allocations by paper and debt allocations by ratings. Again, these are all again comprising of the all the schemes in which the clients has invested into. So on the based on the weighted average and all, it is calculating and it is showing in front of you. Then here goes, this is how like, the detailed reports would look like. So one can see on what date the transaction had happened, and what is the current value, and at what NAV they have purchased, and what is the current value of that, and what is the gain, or the based on the holding days, what is the CAGR that they are getting. So all those things one can view. Okay. Again, here like, then suppose similarly, like, this is for the mutual funds. If you have for the others, like, here you can see this is for the shares and bonds. So if the clients has also invested into shares and bonds, so one can view the details of that as well. Even for the bonds, we are showing you the interest rate, wherein you can see that on the top, like, SBI 9%, one can view the interest rate, that is 2nd of April. So the details on the shares and bonds, one can view it, followed by, you would be able to view like, for the fixed deposits, for the other assets, and even the life insurance or a general insurance, wherever the client has invested into, the details would be coming in this particular portfolio report. Now, this report itself, like, there are various flavors of it. Suppose if you don't want to have a, so much of detailed one, you want to have a simpler, just a one pager kind of a, a smaller concise report. Here you can generate this portfolio valuation summary. So you can go to this, choose the options as subcategory wise, and can you can remove this allocations part and would be able to generate this report here. Okay. So this is how your portfolio valuation summary is coming. So it's basically like, one scheme folio, a single line. So what is the balance unit, the average purchase price, your purchase value, your current value, your your dividend, and how much dividend they have received in this their units, the gain, absolute return, holding days, and the CAGR returns. So all these things you would be able to check it over here. Okay. So similarly, like for all products. So this is how it goes. Now, then there is another report which is called the portfolio summary. These reports which you are generating, the PDF reports which you are generating, these reports you can send to the clients on their WhatsApp. You can email these portfolios. So both can be done. And while you are emailing it, if you want to mark a CC to your RM, you can even do that. Further, here you can see like, while viewing the portfolios, this is portfolio summary is basically like, based on the cash flow. So based on the, it shows like, the total purchases which has happened, total switch in, dividend reinvestment, redemption, switch out, balance unit. So all those things one can view. So, in a particular folio, one can see all these details, the balance units, what is the purchase outstanding, that is the cost of these balance unit, that is your purchase outstanding. Then what is the current value, dividend payout, your realized gain, unrealized gain, absolute return, and the XRR return that they are getting on this particular folio. One can view the details for that. Now, here again, like, if you click on any of the folios, it will open up the, the transaction log, okay, on what date, what transaction had happened. And even you have the options to download the AMC's SOA. So as an advisors or your RMs or your sub brokers, all can download the AMC's SOA from here. So again, then there is another report called the capital gain report. Now, capital gain report, again, it's a very important report. So which every clients would be requiring, and they require their advisors or their distributor, financial advisors and all, to provide them on a on a regular basis, or on a financial year basis. They would be requiring this. So how this portfolio, this realized report look like? I'll just open up that report for you. Now this is your capital gain statement. So wherein one can see the short-term debt, long-term debt, short-term equity, long-term equity. You have the options of in the short-term debt and in the short-term equity. We even consider the dividend stripping cases, and we show you, okay, these are your disallowed losses which you cannot claim and would be added to your taxable capital gain. So that also we show you. Even this is generated for the shares as well. So if you have uploaded the shares, for doing the entry of the shares, we have given you the options in the admin login. We have given you the in the data management, for the shares and bonds, the tradable bonds, you can upload the contract note. So we have listed all the the major broking houses. So here you can see, like the Anand Rathi Angel Broking, Anugrah, Birla, Bonanza, Dani Stocks, Choice Equities, Edelweiss, Eureka, GOJ, HDFC Securities, ICCI, IDBI, IIFL. So all the major broking houses have been listed. So if the client is doing transactions with any of these, you can request for the contract note from them and can get it uploaded into the system. It will be capturing all the transactions details for it. Then for the shares, I would like to mention one more thing, like the corporate actions related to dividend, bonus, and split. These three corporate action system is taking care automatically. So and every day, end of the day, rates are updated into your systems, and you would be able to provide like what kind of a return that they are getting on the investment that they had made in the shares as well. And similarly, for the bonds, the interest calculations are done automatically. And again, for these also, the end of the day rates are updated, and you would be able to view the valuations for them as well. Plus, for the FDs also, if you want to upload from the bulk, we have given you the options of uploading through the Excel as well. So one can download the sample file from here and can upload the Excel, or even one can add transactions one by one. Now, same goes with the FD. So here also, you can upload in either through Excel, or you can add one-to-one transactions as such. So both can be done. And similarly for the other assets as well, wherein if suppose if you want to add any details related to real estate, gold, PMS, or any securities, PPF, LRS, AIF. So all these things you can enter through the system. Okay. So the transactions and the current values need to be added from your side itself. And you can even mark it like how much is into the debt and how much is into equity, so that the debt equity portion of the clients gets created accordingly. Okay. So that's how the reports would appearing. So that's what I was mentioning you while generating this capital gain report. So here in the capital gain report, like for the mutual funds as well as the shares, the same, the grandfathering impact and indexation impact and dividend stripping cases and all those things have been considered for the shares as well. Okay. So wherein here you can see for the long-term debt, the indexation impact is being taken care of. For long-term equity, your grandfathering impact has been taken care of. Here you have the whatever the mutual fund ELSs in which they have done the investments, one can see the details of that. Then you have the mutual fund dividend summary, wherein how much payout or reinvestment has happened, and how much TDS have been deducted. So one can get a details of that as well. Then Again, when you are providing the capital gain, they also require the portfolio valuation report as on 31st of March. So that valuation report is also appended with this report. So wherein you can see this is the valuation report. So their balance unit purchase cost and the market value, one can view that. And at the end, we have given you the period wise breakup also that is required for the filing of the advance tax. So one can see bifurcations into debt and equity, the period wise breakup of the short term capital gain and the long term capital gain. So that can also be shared with your clients. Now, in the capital gain, we have added another report which is called the income tax return filing, that is the ITR report. Now, these are this ITR report, again, it is as per the ITR 2 form. All the column headings is as per the ITR 2 form. For the income tax return filing, one would be requiring these details. The same can be generated from the system. So even your clients would be able to generate these things. So one can see the short-term debt and long-term debt, short-term equity, long-term equity. So one can see the cost of acquisition with grandfathering, full value of consideration, taxable capital gain, actual capital gain. So all these informations are, as per the ITR form 2, as we have mentioned at the below at the at the footer. So that how this reports gets generated. Further, then another reports, a very beautiful report is the unrealized capital gain. Say the client has invested through you, but if the client says I want to redeem certain amounts, so from where they should be redeeming and what would be the tax implications, one would be able to check from this capital gain unrealized report. So wherein we are showing you how much is their ELSS logged units, how much is their ELSS unlogged units, how much is into their short-term debt, short-term equity, long-term debt, long-term equity. First thing is on the broader aspects. And then if you click on the long-term equity, here you have the folio-wise breakup. In which folio, how much is the taxable gain and what would be the the CAGR returns that they are getting on those folios. And if you click on any of the folios, it will take you to the even transaction wise. On what date, what transaction had happened, and what kind of returns that they are getting on it, and their taxable capital gain, which would be happening on that particular investments as such. Similarly, you have got the portfolio performance reports. Now, this portfolio performance report is basically for any particular period. Say a client has invested through you for 5 years, but you want to show them, okay, in the last 1 quarter, how you have provided them the return, or from 1st of April, how you have provided them the return. So you can generate this through the portfolio performance report. So you can enter the from date and a to date and can generate this report. Further, in the Excel report, we have even given you the options of monthly, quarterly, and yearly, wherein month on month how the returns have been provided, quarter on quarter how the returns that you have you have been providing to your clients, or year on year how the returns that you are providing to your clients, that you would be able to view through this. Okay, then through the transactions here, like again, one can see one can view the transactions. The clients can, we have even given the facility at the client's end to enter the details related to shares and bonds and FD or other assets or insurance. So they can also add the details for that. For insurance, if they are adding the details, they would be able to upload the policy documents, or you would be also be able to upload the policy documents and store with the system, so that can be referred to anytime you require. For the life insurance, in the mobile app, we have even given you the facility of to pay the premiums. So the major, the major LICs, major, life insurance companies, the clients would be able to pay the premium from the mobile app as well. Now, this is the transaction statement which could be generated. Here you can see we are taking care of the stamp duty, the TDS amount, STT amount. So all things have been taken care of in this transaction statement. Okay. So for any particular period, suppose for a financial year, along with the transaction, along with the capital gain, if you want to provide your clients a transaction report, you can provide that. Here you can see we are showing you what is their balance unit and the balance amount, and then their opening amount, and their what is the transaction which has happened in that particular period, and at the end what is the market value. So that is also shown there. Okay, now along with this, the my SIPs, wherein one would be able to view the details of for the 4 consecutive months, we show them that how much SIPs were deducted in those months. We take it from the transaction itself, so the client has got an idea. Like if suppose if they are having an SIP of 50,000, so one can see in June there was a 50,000 SIP. Suppose in July there was a one SIP got bounced or something, they can see 40,000 SIP in July, again 50,000 in August. So that way we show you the details there. Then in the my folios and all, one can see the folio wise details. What are the details of this? So one can view the reports here. What was the mode of holding, the bank details, the nominee, the joint holder's name. So all these details one can view from the my folios. Okay. Then you have the goal planner. So wherein one can plan the goals accordingly and can map the assets to it. So one can see one can map different assets. So it could be the assets could be related to mutual funds, share and bonds, FD, other assets or insurance. So one can create, and the clients can create the goals either related to the retirement or their daughter's educations or their daughter's marriage as such. So one can create that, or they want to buy a home or buy a car or whatever. So they can create those goals and map these assets. So while mapping the assets also, we have given you the options of mapping it in a fractions as well. That means what I mean to say is for any particular folio, these can be mapped with multiple assets or multiple goals. So say 20% to one goal, 30% to the other goal, remaining 50% to the some third goal. So one can bifurcate the folios into multiple goals as such. So similarly, it goes here you can see there shares and bonds or FD or other assets or insurance. So whatever the details are, one can map those assets to the particular goals. Then here in the online transactions, one can see here one is the all schemes. In this again we have given you the options, suppose there are 42 AMCs, but at the admin level we have given you the options here you can go to the settings, wherein again in the ARN settings, or rather I would say the ARN AMC ARN mapping, you can map to different AMCs. Suppose that is whitelisting your AMCs. So suppose there are 42 AMCs and you are doing operation transaction with only 25 AMCs or 30 AMCs, you can mark those 25 and 30 AMCs, and their schemes will only appear in this all schemes in this new investments options. Further, again you have got something called fund picks. In the again and the admin level, here you have something called top schemes, and you have the options to mark your favorite schemes. So these favorite schemes will come in as a fund picks in the client's login. Okay, so that way one can check that. Further, other reports would be similarly the additional transactions and all, like the switch or SIPs or whatever, one would be able to map, choose the funds, do whether it's a switch. So here you can see how many are the logged units and how much are the unlogged units, and then the schemes, and can do a switch in from here, switch or a redemption or a STP or SWP. So whatever transactions one can do that. Further, you have this, one can view the orders. So whatever orders that they have placed, one can view like, who had initiated these orders. One can view the details of that as well. And in the manage profile, we have given you the options wherein the clients would be able to create their mandate on their own. They would be able to submit the FATCA as and when it is required, or if they want to, create a UCC, if they want to add any of their family members, they can create the UCC on their own. So that would get added to your, to your business, and they can transact using that as well. Further, then you have this document vault, wherein you can store all the documents related to all the important documents for your clients. Even clients can upload and store it, or you can also upload and store it for your clients, like the PAN card, Aadhaar card, transaction slip, KYC, photo, driving license, general, or any important documents. Okay, so that is something like related to your clients that you would be able to view and all. Now in the admin segments, like there are various other reports which are there. Like first is your utility segments, wherein you have this model portfolios and all, which I was mentioning to you earlier. So wherein you can create the different model reports. So how this model reports will look like, I'll just show you that. So here you can see, suppose a client says, okay, I want to invest say 5 lakh of rupees. So you can add, you can choose your schemes on your own, and add those investments, and can generate a portfolio analysis report and can share it with your clients. So which will give you the clear picture how what would be their asset allocation, what would be their subcategory wise allocations, fund wise allocations, scheme wise allocations, their holding analysis, like equity allocations by sector, equity allocations by scripts. If you have a debt fund, so here you would be having the debt allocations by ratings and a debt allocations by paper. Their back tested performance of the last 5 years along with the the benchmark Nifty 50. So one can check that. Further, the trailing returns, the long term returns, like the 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So those things get added, and along with it you have the rolling returns as well. So one can see the rolling returns of these schemes. So again, their analysis also, like how many times in the past that they have given returns more than 20% or so, and what is their average return, what is the minimum return or a maximum return. So one can view all these informations, okay, along with the portfolio ratios and all. So these informations you would be able to check from here. Plus you have got in the calculators and all, here you have this SWP calculator or a STP calculator, wherein you can create a presentation for your clients. So again, while doing the STP calculator, we have either it could be a fixed amount, or even appreciation amount can be also added and can generate a report for that as well. So one can do that reports also. Plus you have got the scheme compare, wherein you can choose your own schemes, like or it can be a model as such. So one can select the schemes, you can add the scheme wise benchmark along with it, and can view the performances of either the trailing return, rolling returns, or a growth return calculator, that is the point to point return. Like suppose if I invested a 1 lakh rupees, so how much it would have become. So these informations you would be able to check from here. Okay. Further, we have given you another report which is called the Fund Selector. You can do the mining of the schemes, give your own criterias. Okay, this is the give me the list of schemes whose standard deviation is between this range, beta is between this range, alpha is between this range. So you would be able to give those informations here and can generate the report accordingly. Okay, so you will be having the list of all those schemes. So which gives you all the informations, like their fund manager, their returns, their ratios, their the large cap ratios, mid cap ratios, small cap ratios. So all these informations you would be able to check from here. Further, along with this, there are various business analytic reports and all which are available. Like one is like the AUM growth report, that for any particular period you can check out what was your effort to increasing the AUM, or what was the impact of the market in increasing your AUM. So that you would be able to check from this, AUM growth report. Further, you have this, similarly, you have got this redemption simulations reports and all, wherein suppose if the client wouldn't had redeemed, then what kind of a return that they would have got, how much extra gain that they have got, so that you would be able to show them, like, through this redemption simulations reports. There are other reports like, the inactive clients reports, and all these reports just helps you to find out, okay, those clients, who are having investments, but they are having certain AUMs, or they haven't done any transaction from the last, say, 6 months or a 1 year. So you can approach these clients and, and can, you know again initiate transactions for him. Then missing SIP reports, again, this is again a very important report for you, wherein suppose if any, for any particular period, you can check, okay, give me the list of installments, give me the list of all those SIPs whose installment you haven't received in the last 1 month or 2 months or whatever. Then here we have given you the options of last transaction date. So wherein you can see if the SIPs are showing here, like you have chosen, okay, give me the list of SIPs whose installment you haven't received in the last 1 month. So here you can see the last transaction dates are available. So which shows, suppose the last transaction date is of 4 months back, that means this SIP has already been expired, or it has already got seized. So you need to just mark it up and, update the seize date and all, so that your SIP mining or SIP data is corrected, or refined. Similarly, for any particular period, then there is a very important report, that is your brokerage reports. Now in the brokerage reports also, we have given you various options, like, here you have something called rate wise. Now this rate wise, what does this means? It gives you, for any particular period which you have chosen, you would be able to view. Suppose if I say, okay, I want to see the report for say I want to see the report for January. Okay. So if I say rate wise, here you can see, like, for any particular funds as such, you would be, you can choose a particular fund. Okay, I want to say select a particular fund. Say I choose a fund and I say, okay, give me the details for only, say, Aditya Birla, and I click on this apply. So what the system will do is, it will show you, okay, these are the schemes in which the low earning assets you would be able to find from here. We also upload the brokerages data, so wherein one can see, okay, this is the one can see for each and every schemes, the details are available in front of you. So wherein one can see, okay, in the same schemes, if there has been low earning rates as such, so those details you would be able to view from here. Okay, so I'll show you, like, how the report will look like. Okay, in fact, I can see, like, it has already been 7. So I'll just try to wind it up in 5 minutes as such. So actually, these reports will, help you to find out the, the low earning assets, or the, and, like, those transactions in which you are getting a lesser rates. So those things you would be able to find out. You have got in the starting, we were discussing about the email schedulers and all. Here you can see there are templates and all which you can define, and you can, create these templates. You can, edit it on your own, so that you would be able to send it to your clients. Then you have this comprehensive portfolio reports and all. So it's a basically, while you are sitting for a review, here you we have given you the benchmark return as well. So you can mark the benchmark and, can generate the reports for that. So that way, like, one can, generate the different reports into the systems for whatever periods you want, you would be able to generate the reports for this. Okay. Further, along with that, the clients has also we have given the risk profiling option also at the client level. The client can assess their risk. The portfolio screener would help you to generate the reports in one shot for all of your clients. In one shot, you can view the the portfolio details. So you can see with the 1 day change. So what is the returns of the CAGR that you are getting? So along with that, here this is your if the CAGR of your company, one can see here. So that way, like even like your folio wise, if you want to view for any particular only the debt portfolios, long-term debt folios as such, long-term folios which are into ELSS and greater than investment period is greater than 3 years. So those reports you would be able to check. Here you can see for the same schemes in the same category. So one can see like there are different rate one which one has received. So that way like one can check, okay, in the same schemes if they have received the different rates. So one can find out those low earning assets schemes and can take transact can take actions on those things. So those options which we have provided to you. Now I can see there are various in the chat a lot of questions have already been added. So like let me see that. So I can see there are a lot of options which has been added. A lot of questions, queries which have been added there. So portfolio return versus benchmark, yes, you would be able to see like in the comprehensive portfolio I just shown you like the that report which would be having the benchmark returns as well. Then in the system we have even given you something called transfer holding. So if the clients has done investment through some other if that folio is with some other client, some other advisor or some other distributor, you can place a transfer holding request from here. The KYCs are done through this through the SignZ, and that's the video KYC. It's basically through the camps. Those are done. Okay, I can see there has been a lot of requests for the cost as such. So let me just go to this and show you the pricing. See, for the Investwell Mint, the pricings are all like, that is the AUM based. So how the pricing goes is like, here I'll just show you this screen. So this is your basically the pricing structures. So one can see here. So it's all like, AUM based with a minimum pricing of 25,000 for 25 crores of the AUM. Above that, it's like, it's a 0.01. That is 1,000 rupees per crore. So if your AUM is like, 26 crores, so it is 26,000. If it is 30 crores, it's 30,000, and so on. So similarly, like, once you after 100 crores, the rate gets reduced considerably. So for next 100 to 300 crores, the rates are 0.005. And again, as you progresses, their per crore, your servicing charges gets reduced considerably. Okay. Now for the master strokes, we have come up with a special price for the master stroke members. So for the master stroke members, this is the price which is available. So as you can see here, so the minimum pricing has been reduced to, the minimum pricing has been reduced to 8,000 rupees. That is up to 8 crores of the AUM. So above that, it goes like, 0.01. So if somebody is having an AUM of 9 crores, so that is 9,000 for them. If it is 10 crores, that is 10,000 for them. But the minimum pricing has been reduced to 8,000 for people having AUM up to 8 crores. So that's something like, which is a very, very special price for the master stroke members. The taxes are extra. So, the along with tax, it comes down to your 9440. The pricings are all like, as I said, it's a per annum charges. So if your AUM is less than 8 crores, so it would be 8,000 rupees per annum. And suppose during the course, if your AUM increases to 9 crores or a 10 crores, obviously, like, the extra would be charged. It covers both the Mint web login as well as your Mint generic mobile app login. So both Android as well as Apple. So through both, like, you and your clients would be able to log in and would be able to view their portfolios as such, and also do the online transactions. Even from the mobile app, you have the facility of downloading the SOA. There is no limit on number of the clients or number of the RMs, sub brokers, all products included. It's a complete package. So wherein, as I had already mentioned, it's a completely a wealth management package. So all features are included there. Okay. There will be some premium features and all which can be discussed. Like, you can even go for a even a white labeled mobile app if you require to do so. So those things are also available. So which we can discuss that. Okay. For any suggestions, any inquiry, one can, get in touch with. This is all this price is for one ARN. You can definitely add multiple ARNs also. There are different charges for the multiple ARNs. So We also do a website designing. We white labeled mobile app, WhatsApp robo responder. So all those things are available. Schemes, fact sheets is also given in this there. So then
Yeah,
you can, for any
Amitabh. Yeah,
inquiries as such, you can definitely get in touch with any of the persons here mentioned here.
yeah, dear participant, please take a screenshot of this contact page so that you can contact later
Like
also if you have any queries.
in the templates, you can design, as I had shown you earlier. In the templates, you can design your own templates and you can send mails to your clients. From the mobile app, life insurance companies, premium